It was Philip Rapal.
Philip Rahwani.
Yeah.
And when was that, considering that the IPID report I referenced you at page 101 of Mapieye annexures is dated the 1st of September 2023. So I take it that the internal audit report would be dated after that date.
Exactly.
Would you recall how much later after that date to assist our search?
I wouldn't. I don't recall, ma'am.
You don't recall. Now, you said in no uncertain terms in that interview that it cleared Mr. Mkhwanazi and that he did nothing wrong. What in the report, what wording appeared in the report that gave you such a definitive and conclusive understanding of the outcome of the internal audit exercise? Did it say, this report clears Mr. Mkhwanazi? Did it say, following extensive investigations, no wrongdoing could be established on the part of Mr. Mkhwanazi? I'm trying to understand, what was the wording, as you recall, of the report that led you to conclude as you did, and you communicated to the journalist accordingly?
I can't recall. I will still have to go back and check.
Sorry, I missed that.
I will go back and check.
You'll go back and check. Now, getting back to the IPID report, in the interview with the journalist, you said the report was vague. That's the explanation you provided. And you said, and as a result, you were unable to discipline anyone. Do you recall that bit? Now, I want to invite you to Annexure JM19 of Mapiye's annexure bundle, which I said is the actual IPID report. And if you could just highlight what in particular about that report you considered vague, with reference to the report itself.
Can you repeat your question?
We are looking at the IPID report. Have you located it in Mapiye's bundle? It's
Yes,
marked
I do.
JM19. It starts at page 101. Now, you said to the journalist in that interview that no one was disciplined because the IPID report is vague, and therefore you were unable to discipline anyone. And you don't understand the content of the report. My question is, which part of this report do you consider vague? Just by flipping through now so we can understand your challenges at the time.
The report was fully analyzed by corporate and legal. Hence, I said, can we allow Advocate Kemi to come and talk to the report and also talk to his opinion about the report? And I indicated at the beginning of my response that if I was ill-advised or given an opinion that is not sustainable from the department, can we therefore allow Advocate Kemi to come and speak to the report? That's all I'm asking.
Okay, but as I indicated, we are happy to do so, except your own words seem to suggest that you considered the report vague. Are you saying that Advocate Bihari advised you that the report is vague? Or did you form the opinion that the report is vague, the IPID report?
That is my understanding from his opinion, from what he said. That is my understanding.
Oh.
Hence, I'm saying I do not want to waste Commissioner's time by saying stories I don't know, legal stories that I don't know and understand. I will ask the Commission. Advocate Kemi Bihari is coming on the 4th to pose this question to him about the opinion he rendered to the accounting officer. Remember, I'm not an expert in all the fields. We have engineering department, legal, HR, and so forth. I'm not an expert in those areas. I rely on HODs to advise me in terms of some of these reports or programs within the city.
My question was prompted by your choice of words in that interview. You said the report is vague, but based on what you've just said now, please correct me if I'm wrong, you were not suggesting that you reached the conclusion that the report is vague, but you are saying that Advocate Bihari advised you that the report is vague. Is that what you were trying to communicate?
Yes, ma'am.
So you are not in a position to look through the report now as we sit here to try and understand which aspects of the report are vague?
No,
And you operated purely on the basis of what Advocate Bihari informed you and advised you
exactly.
in his capacity as a lawyer?
Yes. Generated from my system, we had to subject it and confirm some of the things because as you see the report, there were no annexures attached. Okay? So I know in terms of the report, there are gross allegations that needs to be attended to. Hence, I'm saying I do not want to waste your time, ma'am, the Commission's time by saying yes, no, yes, no. I'm requesting that we park this. Advocate Kemo will talk to it because I was solely relying on the opinion given to me at that time. But looking at the report, obviously, I would accept that the opinion is not assisting.
The reason I ask whether you read this report when it was given to you, it's because I'm worried if an impression is created or is drawn from how you're testifying that you received this report and simply passed it on. You didn't look at it, you didn't engage with its contents. You just passed it on to Advocate Bihari, and then he came back to you with his advice that ignore it, it's vague, and as city manager, you were content to deal with things at that superficial level. I'm concerned that your evidence may be misunderstood to convey that. Hence my question, did you read this report?
Yeah, I perused the report.
Yes, you did read it.
Yeah, I perused the report.
Now, having read it,
Yeah.
and you've explained that you would have to defend your position about, the position you take about it. Having read the report, and I'm going to assume that you reread it to come and testify here, what in the report in front of you did you consider to be vague, unsubstantiated conclusions about what Brigadier Mkhwanazi is being accused of?
Yeah, post the commission and the evidence that we received, the report is full of gross misconduct, and it needed an action from the city. But initially, because I just perused through the document and there was no attachment to it to confirm, that is the decision that I took after I was advised that the report is vague.
Okay. A different question still relating to this. In your evidence earlier, you say that Chief Mapieye was responsible to discipline Brigadier Mkhwanazi. And you don't get involved with that. And indeed, this report from IPID, you're correct, is addressed to Chief Mapieye, but we know from your evidence that it does come to your attention. But in that interview, you speak about you being responsible to discipline Brigadier Mkhwanazi. That's what you say in your words. And I'm really confused about what you're saying about your involvement with disciplinary action relating to Brigadier Mkhwanazi.
Thank you very much. If you listen to the interview, I said I have a right to discipline Mkhwanazi as an acting chief of police and including chief of police. That's my statement. Acting chief of police, you assume the responsibility of being the chief of police, and the responsibility of disciplining lies with the city manager.
So where criticism is that the city failed to discipline Brigadier Mkhwanazi arising from this report, according to this interview, that includes you. You say you relied on Advocate Behari's advice, and he will come and speak for himself. But to the extent that you own up in the interview that you have the authority to discipline your acting police chief, and you have decided not to discipline him.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me give clarity to your question. At the point of the report and the memorandum, signing of the memorandum, Mukwanazi was a director. That's why the responsibility of disciplining him was resting in the authority of the chief of police, not the authority of the accounting officer. Hence, in my interview, I said him as an acting chief of police then, and he acted just for a short period. And the chief of police himself, they report to me, acting in the capacity of chief of police. But at the time of this incident, he was a director. And the only person that could discipline him was the chief of police.
But from the interview, we know that you made the decision, for reasons that you've given, you made the decision that there's nothing to discipline him for because an investigation has cleared him. So you made a decision in that short time that he was acting. You made the decision arising from this IPID report, there's nothing to discipline him for because your investigation has cleared him.
I think I've answered there that I was advised at that point whether the advice is admissible or the advice is helping the process. The head of legal will explain.
Okay. And then, can you just explain if the IPID report, as it is directed to the chief of police, and you say he had the authority to discipline, when you receive the same report, so we know where the authority to discipline lies according to you, it lies with the chief. When you receive the report, why do you take it to Behari when the authority lies with the chief? Why do you say to Behari, look at this, and then you rely on him now saying to you, don't discipline? It sounds like you were doing something that on your evidence didn't belong in your remit because the authority lies with the chief according to your evidence.
Thank you, ma'am. Remember, the chief of police received this from IPID, I think, when was it? The date.
The report is dated September.
September. Yeah, he received this. And from his part, he did not want to act. I don't know why. Then he referred the IPID officials to my office, and they presented the report. There was Advocate Behari in the office. So as there were continuous inquiries about the report, Advocate Behari requested an official called Osborne Kanye from IPID to come and explain to us how do we move, because there were no attachment in terms of the report. That's why I wanted the advocate to come and talk to it. And Mr. Kanye said, because in the report they were suggesting that there were some corruption, fraud and corruption, and advocate wanted to understand that. I was part of that meeting, and Kanye in that meeting, he indicated that they're still busy with the investigation. That's what he said, and this will be confirmed by Advocate Behari. That Kanye was still trying to conclude the investigation and also create criminal charges against Mukwanazi. And he will take those charges to DPP. And Advocate, I think he did a follow-up again when this thing was ongoing, when I asked him that, what's happening now? Because Mukwanazi, as far as the report is concerned now, he is being accused of fraud and corruption, which must be dealt with. Then he wrote an email, he will present the email here, to Kanye, Osborne Kanye in IPID, to check how far is he with DPP, so that Mkhwanazi can be arrested for doing this. That's why in the statement I said IPID should have concluded and they must arrest Mkhwanazi because they are police officers.
Yes. Did you never become aware that employee relations commenced a disciplinary process against Brigadier Mkhwanazi? Are you telling us you never became aware of that when you say Chief Mapieye never acted on this?